Danny. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and we really appreciate your visit. Well, about the photo, actually the day was thoroughly planned. You know, we were told in 1975 that things are going to change in the new year. But you know how students are like. We'll see when the time comes. Yes, the new year came and we're very excited. We just summed everything up. Whatever news you are going to be told at schools, obviously something exciting, it's New Year. Yes, we went to our different schools and we were thoroughly explained that the syllabus has changed. That means already that you are going to be taught in the medium of Afrikaans, subject like mathematics, biology, physical science. You know, there and then there was disruption. Why should we learn in our precious language? Where in this planet are we really going to speak Afrikaans besides South Africa and Namibia? Well, some thought maybe in Germany or Sweden, but at the end of it all, we really had to come up with plans. Well, some thought we can just write a memorandum and hand it over to the Department of Education. But some said, hey, wait, by the way, we need to keep this as a secret. If not, we should be discreet. So what now? Well, the last option was to approach high school students, of which there were those subtle political organizations like Black Consciousness, South African Student Movement, South African Students Organizations. Even though it went like days later, you know, because we're doubtful and pulling one another. And we're told that, oh well, we know about the situation, we are still trying to find an amicable way to resolve the matter. You know, with us, we wanted things to happen speedily before we could reach the month of June, where we had to wait. While waiting, you know, some students started to moan and groan like, this is really taking long. It's best if you go back to the drawing board. We've got better plans now. Well, it was too late. All we had to do was to be patient and wait for the results. On the 13th of June, that was the final straw. With the spread of mouth, we're told that on the 16th of June, we'll be demonstrating around Soweto. We were very excited, but it was also emphasized that we must make sure we don't tell our parents. Oh, that was scary. But anyway, we just said we'll go with the flow. So yes, the day of the 16th of June came. Already we had our placards with messages on, away with Afrikaans, to hell with Afrikaans. Actually, there wasn't much that we can write. So most of the placards were repeating themselves. On the very same day, as I was walking to my school, I saw students from other schools in groups. So you wouldn't tell whether they were excited or afraid, even when I got to my school. It was time for assemblies of which would hold every day. We wouldn't start a class without going to the assembly. It was normal. As usual, we sang, and while we were praying, there was this disturbing sound, like a big aeroplane just on top of our heads. Obviously, it was disturbing. And I realized that even when your eyes are closed, you can still investigate. Can you? Can you? Yes, you can. Hearing, sound, listening, of which is true. So at the assemblies, there was a sequence where they would say, short ones in the front and tall ones at the back. And usually, teachers concentrate at the back rather than in the front. So I was always in the front. and I felt special. In a way, I felt like, oh, why not take advantage of being shot and investigate? So I just went like, and actually the sound came from one of the nominated school students from Morris Isaacson High School. They were singing and chanting, proceeding through our school gate. You know, we just pretended as if we don't really know what's going on, because my principal was very chilly and we were so afraid of him, even neighboring schools. So he just left us there at the assemblies and approached those students. I heard him say, my children are not going anywhere. But one student said, Father, you had your chance. This is our chance. Hearing that, it was like, oh, what a relief. So we just took our school bags and put them right on the veranda. Some just threw them there. And those who had placards, they just pulled out the placards and we followed the procession. Yes, we went from location to location collecting students, but you'd find that in some locations, there would be about 3 to 4 schools in a row. That means a lower primary, a high school, or a secondary. So I think younger ones could hear the sound and they just came out to see what's going on. And they spotted those different uniforms and they knew that the elderly brothers and sisters attending in those schools. So I think they told themselves like, they are enjoying themselves and they never invited us. We are going to invite ourselves. But in actual fact, younger ones were not supposed to be part and parcel of the demonstration. Well, it was a peaceful march, so we just let them join in. As we went through the street of Soweto with pride, at some point, our leaders summoned us and told us that police are around. We must make sure we don't provoke the police. But now, speaking to a crowd is something different. And it goes in here and comes out the other way. Even so, we managed to be calm. So when we reached the school of which is just up the road, and the school is called Orlando West High. Already, police were there with dogs and batons. So we just ignored the police. We kept on singing. And later, our leaders told us that other schools are on the way. We can just hang around waiting for those schools. We were so excited. Imagine we came from different parts of Soweto and we have never encountered any problems. You know, already felt like, oh, this is cool. It looks like things are going our way. While waiting with excitement, all of a sudden, there was a shot. And the turnout was plus minus 20,000. I'm sorry, Papa, you're part of the group. No, if not, you go Paris to tell the Papa. Where was I?
Just shy. 10 to 20,000.
While waiting, okay, and there was a shot. So we ran amok in confusion, running for cover, dashing into other people's homes, and it was so scary and confusing.
I bet.
Remember, we never told our parents, and when that was happening, well, it was something else. I'll just call that scene hide and seek. As soon as we hear the shot, we'll go into hiding, and when it's calm, we'll emerge back to the pavement. During that hide and seek, I spotted my younger brother on the opposite side of the pavement. You know, I became restless. I knew he was not supposed to be there. He was too young to understand what was really going on. but still, I could not just ignore his presence. So I decided that I will call him, but I will use his cultural name, which was Zolile. Zolile means calmness. So I called out his name. He quickly looked around. You could see that he heard that somebody called out his name. And when he looked from where I was, I just waved and he came closer, smiling. You know, I just said to him, it seems as if things are getting out of hand. I'll make sure we get home, we'll be okay. Well, I was just saying that, trying to be brave and bold. I was very scared. So while I continued talking to him, there was another shot, so we had to go back into hiding. Unfortunately, we went two separate ways. When it's calm, as I emerged back to the pavement, he was nowhere to be seen. Yes, I looked around, my eyes roving, thinking I might spot him again. But not very far from where I was, like something happened there, and students were busy gathering the scene. So I sort of had two minds, whether I should go and investigate or stay. Eventually, I chose to stay, because I thought he might come around looking for me and we are going to miss one another. But I was very anxious to know what was happening there. I had to stay. Yes, my eyes were roving, and at the same time trying to think that if he comes around, we can take any street. If not, we should wait for other students to be in a group of 5 or 6, then we can hit the road. I don't know. Maybe because my mind was wandering and I was also confused, I just saw a man coming from nowhere, running towards me. As that man passed me, my eyes followed him, and actually he was focusing at that crowd where students were gathered. When he got there, you could see that he was making way, pushing these other students. And it also seemed like he was struggling or trying to get something from these other student hands. As he lifted, yes, I could see it's a body frame. As he lifted for the second time, the first thing that I spotted, it was my brother's shoes. So I tried running to the scene. Already, they were on their way, running towards me. I joined them, and as we continued running, I was asking this man, who are you? This is my brother, I've been looking for him. Where are you taking him? The man just kept on running. Then I looked at my brother. I saw blood coming from the side of the mouth. I panicked. Who are you? Can't you see my brother's head? Where are you taking him? He never said anything. A car just stopped in front of us, and one lady jumped out of the car, introduces herself as a journalist, and said she can help us. As that man was about to put my brother in the car, he said, "Oh, he's dead." Hearing that, I was sort of like torn into two. I could see myself on the other end crying desperation. To me, it was like, this is not real. It can't be happening. The next moment, I was at the clinic, and the clinic looked very strange, like it has been long deserted. But I knew there were people there. So I had to bang, knock, crying out for help. And one eye doctor came out. He took my brother out of the car, inside the clinic, and he said to me there was nothing more that he could do. I understood him very well. Yes, I stood there, trying to find myself. Then I decided, let me just go next to the window inside the clinic And as I looked through the window, outside there it was another chapter. In fact, students were retaliating. Like everywhere else in the morning with delivery vans for bread, milk, even some of our white colleagues used to work here in Soweto as teachers, administrators, you name them. And they were caught in the act. In amusement, while I was watching the stoning of the delivery vans, already some students have looted those vans, that loaves of bread in their hands. From the other side of the window, a van came rolling down like it was stoned 3 blocks away from here, and on the side of the door, there was an abbreviation of Western Board Administration. That means that car belonged to the government. And at that moment, anything that belongs to the government was destroyed in any form. Yes, that car lost control and swerved to where most of the students were. You know, when that man was pulled out of the car, he was a white man. Each and everything that could kill a human being was used on him. You name them. Knives, spades, stones, anything. You know, I just froze. Then I thought, now my mind is really playing with me. It was unbelievable. Days later, we heard that the very same man who was killed, it was Dr. Van Halstein, who was assigned here in Soweto as a social worker, and so many people knew him. That was sad. But all those who died did not die in vain. As people, we managed to take out good from bad, to live by today, to shape ourselves and our country. Thank you very much. If you have questions.